a coronial inquest was held in February 2006, and the coroner found that Tracy had died between 1992 and December 1993.
Of course she had.
Of course she had. At Wentworth Falls from injuries inflicted by another person.
How the hell? How can they say that? There's not even any suspicion that someone else picked her up.
It was nearer the beginning when we first started talking, because I was like, alright, we need to focus, try and not make it seem like we're reading so much, but actually talking to each other. I accidentally left it in.
Oh well.
Oopsies. Right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vividly Dark, a podcast where we talk about all things creepy, geeky, and bloody everything in between, mate.
You're still doing Scottish, huh?
No, that was meant to be Australian. Bloody? I don't...
That sounded more Scottish.
Oh, so last time I tried the maybe I should try Scottish then.
Yeah, last time you tried Scottish, you sounded Australian.
Maybe I should.
So.
Bloody. No. And everything in between. I'm your host, Patrick, and with me, as always, is the wonderful and beautiful Zoe.
Hello.
Right. So, as you can tell, for those of you who are watching, we are back.
Back in the gaff.
In the gaff. We just got back from Scotland, and it was a great trip. After we talked to you guys, what did we end up doing?
We didn't actually end up going into Glasgow, which is what we kept saying we were going to do the next day. Because I really wanted to. Yeah, but we ended up driving through it-ish, and way past, didn't we?
Yeah, we went to Loch Lomond. We didn't go anywhere near... Yeah, we went through it, yeah.
We
were still pretty close to it.
Glasgow,
yeah.
Just from, like, the bridge,
distance,
I think.
Yeah. But it was a good time. We went kayaking on the Yate. Canoeing on the lake, or the loch, rather.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Very stressful.
I'm glad we did do that, because I wanted to go on the ferry, didn't I?
Yeah.
And go all the way around it. And
next
Bella was
time,
like, I want a rowboat, so that's what we did.
Yeah, next time we'll have to do the ferry, though, because that looks really nice.
I just wanted to see the whole thing. Like,
yeah, me too.
I got a real, bug for having to see everything, see as much as we could, didn't I?
Yeah.
For a couple of days. It was nice.
Yeah, what else did we do? Oh, we went to Edinburgh again. Walked around, had Spud Bros.
We did. The child needed to try Spud Bros.
Yeah, Riley thought that Spud Bros was the greatest thing on earth, as did Zoe.
It was actually really good.
It was good. Whereas me and
Best
Bella...
potato I've ever eaten.
You're going to have to keep saying that for the rest of your life, because you decided that on the spot.
Well, I might have a better one.
No, you can't. It's too late for that.
Alright, I'm fine with it.
Doesn't matter. Even if you have the next hyped up Spud Bros is the greatest for you.
Well, it was really good, so
I rated it at a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5
Which is really harsh.
It's just mid. I rate
it a gazillion out of 5.
I don't understand.
Why did it out of 5 anyway?
Because that's just what I do. I just do everything out of 5. I don't really understand the hype. Bella didn't really understand the hype. It's not bad. It was good. I will admit that.
It was a bloody good potato.
Was it the best I've ever had? No. Anyway, moving on.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I do. I'm the food...
He's lying.
I am the food connoisseur of this
Spud
house.
Bros.
No, I'm the food connoisseur of this house. Anyway. So, today we are going to be talking about true crime once again. And this time...
potatoes.
No, we are not. Anyway. Today we are going to go to lands that we have not spoken of as of yet. We're going far away from where we've ever gone before.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, rather. Well, are they in the Pacific? Yeah, anyways.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah. So, I'm going to start this episode off by asking you, babe. What comes to mind when you think about Australia?
Koalas.
Koala.
Cool, blimey, it's a croc.
Crikey. I think it's like Steve Irwin.
Is that the man who said, cool, blimey, it's a croc?
I don't know. But he used to just wonder, oh, cool, she's a right beaut, isn't she?
Yeah, I think it was the same man.
That's not a knife.
I love the Australian accent.
Me too.
And I also just think, like, everybody's, like, sun-kissed beach babe vibes. That's what I think of.
Like tan skin?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there's some pretty pale Australians.
Yeah, it probably is, but that's just what I think of.
Yeah, I love Australia. I have never been. I say I love Australia like I've been.
Actually, downside, humongous spiders.
So, yeah,
and
Australia
lots
is
of
home.
Insects and things.
Yes, Australia is home to some of the most venomous animals in the world.
Never going there.
I want to go there.
Never going.
Not to mess with the animals. I want to go and I want to see Sydney Harbour. I want to see the Sydney Opera House. I want to see Sydney. I want to see...
I reckon I'd be alright in Sydney, because there's probably not as many, because it's a built-up area. Just don't take me to the outback.
I want to go to the outback. I want to fight...
Go there on your own.
I want to fight a fucking kangaroo. That's what they do. They fight.
Why would you fight it?
Because they fight you. Anyway, I would actually really love to see a blue-spotted octopus.
Never heard of it.
They are the most deadliest creature in the world. Number one. They're tiny little octopuses.
Well, of course you'd want to see that.
They're these tiny little octopuses that can fit in the palm of your hand, and one bite from them can kill you. Instant law.
Yeah, I'm alright, thanks.
Well, anyway. So yeah, that's what I think about when I go to Australia. So you've answered the next question. Would you ever want to go there?
Probs not.
Ah, well, I do. Well, the reason I ask you this is because today I'm assuming that you've already all guessed it. We're going to take a trip down under.
You need to stop with the accents.
Why?
They're not going well.
I gotta work on them. I used to be so good at accents.
It's good you.
Anyway, let's get into this. And today, the Zaz will be doing a little reading as well.
Little bit.
So, known as the Outback, and for its desert regions that seem to stretch for hundreds of miles, because they do, Australia is quite literally crawling with some of the world's deadliest creatures, like crocodiles, the eastern brown snake, box jellyfish, and the funnel web spider. Which, combined with some of the world's top predators, like great white sharks, and what locals call Aussies?
Huh?
What?
Aussies?
Yeah.
That's an Australian person.
Kidding. But not really. So, put on your best exploring outfit and let's get to it. Because we are going to explore something different besides the vast deserts, surrounding oceans, and dense rainforests. Today, we are going to explore some of the biggest cold cases of New South Wales.
Oh, where's that then? Somewhere in Australia, obviously.
Yeah, it's a country. It's like a county within. It's where Sydney is. It's where Sydney is.
I'll see. 18-year-old Trudy Jeanette Adams, a business college student from Avalon on Sydney's northern beaches. People who knew Trudy generally described her as sociable, lively, and optimistic. Even filmmaker Steve Otten knew her through a 1970s surf film. That's cool. Remembered her as being like a sparkler. Happy, bright, and full of energy. One of his films, Highway 1, recorded her carefree life with friends around Avalon Beach, roughly a year before she disappeared. Trudy was very much looking forward to the future and excited to see what her future had in store for her. On the night she vanished, she reportedly spoke enthusiastically about an upcoming trip to Bali, planned for about 6 weeks later. Unfortunately, this would all change on the evening of June 24th, 1978. Around 7 p.m, Trudy left her family home in Avalon to go out with friends. She reportedly walked along Barrenjoey Road towards Newport. Shortly afterward, a motorist stopped to give her a lift to the home of her friend Debbie. This was not unusual for the area or period, and there is no indication that the lift was connected with her disappearance. So it's normal to just, like, get picked up on that road.
So, in Australia, around this time specifically, it's not uncommon for kids, or like teenagers, younger and maybe older, whatever, people in general, it's not uncommon for them to hitchhike.
Around 8:30 p.m, Trudy and Debbie walked to the Newport Hotel where they met or joined friends. Accounts describe Trudy as being in good spirits and talking about the upcoming Bali trip. The hotel closed at about 10 p.m. Trudy and her friends then travelled by car to the Newport Surf Life Saving Club for a dance. At the Newport Surf Club at around 10:30 p.m, 22-year-old Stephen Norris, Trudy's former boyfriend, arrived at the dance. The two had recently separated. Some accounts say they argued that night. However, Norris's own account was that there was no serious fight. It's not until approximately 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. that Trudy's movements became uncertain. At one point, Trudy left the club for roughly an hour. Her precise whereabouts during that period have never been fully established, but she later returned to the club at approximately 11:30 p.m. That's weird, so she just popped out for an hour and then she's back. When police later did a reconstruction of Trudy's timeline, this was the one part of her night they struggled to get any information on. This does not mean that anything significant happened during that hour. It simply means that the surviving accounts do not provide a continuous record of her movements. Shortly after midnight, Trudy left the club alone and appeared upset. One account says she ran outside without telling friends where she was going. She crossed the car park and walked towards Barrenjoey Road, apparently intending to hitchhike home to Avalon. The distance to her home was only a few kilometres, reported as roughly a 6-minute drive under normal conditions, so it's likely she had expected to reach home quickly. Public transport was limited, and again, hitchhiking was fairly common at the time. The last sighting of Trudy comes shortly after midnight, near the corner of Barrenjoey Road and Neptune Road. Norris watched Trudy leave from the club. He was concerned because she was hitchhiking and followed her, either by walking and then obtaining a lift himself, according to his account. He saw her standing at a recognised hitchhiking spot near Barrenjoey Road. Oh, there was an actual spot for it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like probably like the last bit of that road until it goes into like isolation.
A panel van pulled up and temporarily blocked his view of Trudy. When the van drove away, she was no longer standing there. Norris later told the police that the vehicle was a light-coloured beige or fawn Holden panel van, possibly a 1977 model. Shortly afterwards, Norris said that he continued looking for Trudy, including checking the beach area, but no independent witness has conclusively reconstructed his movements after the last sighting, and later reporting notes that approximately 2 hours passed before he returned to his parents' home. Because he was Trudy's former boyfriend and the last known person to see her, police initially treated him as a suspect. He was later cleared. Note that this is very common, especially given the circumstances. Early morning, Trudy failed to reach her home in Avalon. There is no verified sighting of her after the panel van stopped near the hitchhiking location, nor is there confirmed evidence that established whether she entered that van willingly, was forced inside, or whether the van was directly involved in her disappearance. On Sunday the 25th of June, when Trudy did not return, her family became concerned. Reports differ on the exact timing of the initial report, but her parents and Norris contacted police on the 25th of June. Some later accounts say her mother formally reported her missing at approximately 9 p.m. On Monday the 26th, a police message was circulated to other stations and patrol vehicles. That alert reportedly described Trudy as having been last seen getting into a green combi van, which conflicted with Norris's description of a light-coloured Holden panel van. The discrepancy became a major feature of the investigation. So, did someone just get it wrong, or did he change what he said he saw?
So even though he's changed what he said, it's one of those things where you can't really sit there and pick at it because it was night, it was late. I think they probably were drinking.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them.
I just wondered if he'd changed his mind about the van the next day, or what.
I'm not overly sure.
On Thursday the 29th, 5 days after the disappearance, a man telephoned Trudy's parents and Mona Vale Police stating, "Trudy is dead. You will find her about halfway up Mona Vale Road. It was an accident." So someone called to confess.
Yeah, but it was obviously anonymous.
Police searched the area but found no trace of her. The caller was never conclusively identified and the statement has never been verified. Before and around the time of Trudy's disappearance, a series of women reported being picked up while hitchhiking or waiting for transport on the northern beaches. They described being taken to isolated bushland, restrained and sexually assaulted by 2 men. Sources vary slightly in their accounts, but the investigation ultimately considered a group of approximately 14 related or potentially related sexual assaults between 1971 and 1978. The similarities that attracted investigators included women being approached or collected near roads on the northern beaches, victims being taken into bushland, and the use of disguises, restraints or weapons in some accounts. Assaults occurring within a relatively concentrated geographical area, and also another reported attempt attack on another hitchhiker on the evening Trudy disappeared. So potentially they tried to pick someone else up, didn't quite work out.
About 14 other people, yeah.
Not on the same night though.
No,
But on the same night they potentially tried to pick up someone else.
Oh, yeah.
And then went, and it didn't work, so they went and then got her. However, this connection has never been proven in court and it remains one of the major investigative theories rather than an established fact. One of the most prominent later suspects was a man by the name of Neville Tween, also known as John Anderson. Why have you got 2 names?
It's an alias.
He was a convicted criminal with links to drugs, sexual offences and violence, and he had connections to people and locations in the Northern Beaches criminal scene. Police and witnesses later suggested that he might have been connected to the assaults and possibly to Trudy's disappearance. Tween appeared at a later inquest and was questioned in connection with the case, but he was never charged with Trudy's disappearance or death. He later died in prison in 2013. The inquest itself came in 2011 coroner inquest.
Alright, so to me, it's strange because I'm not from Australia. I don't know how things even really work here in the UK. But it's strange that a coroner is the one who considered whether Trudy had deliberately left, suffered an accident, or been abducted and killed. It's not an investigator. It's not a police officer.
It's the coroner.
It's the coroner.
But her body wasn't found, no?
No.
So why would the coroner even be
involved? Yeah. See, I don't...
That's
if you're
weird.
from Australia, not that I believe any Australians watch our fucking channel yet, please enlighten me on this, because I don't get... so in America, and I assume here in the UK, because you're lost on it, a coroner...
They get
examines a body.
Yeah, and they get them in sometimes to help, determine whether there was a struggle, things like that.
Yeah. But they have to be looking at a body. They can't just waltz in and be like, I think she was struggling.
Unless there was, some sort of signs on the road, maybe. I don't know. But they're saying that they never found her, so how would they know?
No, see, even in America, a coroner would not go out and be like, oh, there's marks on the road. She's died from strangulation.
But I mean, they might be involved in the DNA collection side of it. Is what I'm saying. I don't know.
From even an American standpoint, no. That's all crime scene investigators. A coroner.
Yeah, right, I imagine it probably is.
Yeah, a coroner is the last person the body goes through.
Yeah.
And they can't decide anything if there's no body in front of them.
Yeah.
So it's very strange to me. So I would love for someone to explain that.
Unless coronial inquest means something else.
Unless it does mean something else. But I assume coroner.
Yeah, but it might just mean at the death inquest. That might be what they call it, a coronial inquest.
Well, even so with that, how can they sit there and state this is how she died?
Yeah, they can't. It's all assumption, isn't it, without any evidence at all.
Mm-hmm.
The details of this inquest are that the Deputy State Coroner Scott Mitchell found that on the balance of probabilities, Trudy had indeed died approximately shortly after 12:30 a.m. on June the 25th, 1978. But how can they say that?
Exactly,
again,
I was just going to say, how in the hell can a coroner say this? Because they have no idea. She could very much still be alive. I mean, it's highly unlikely, because this happened in 1978, we're now in 2026. This is one of these things where, like, obviously I don't live in Australia, so I don't know.
That's a bit scary to think. So what if they do this sort of process in Australia, or in this area, and does that mean that they're then going to just assume that that's it, she's died then, put it down as that, and then no one's going to look for her anymore? Because there's cases where people have been held captive for fucking years.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying. Like, she could still very much be alive. I being that it's 2026, I highly doubt it.
That's scary as hell to think that, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? This isn't the only time this is going to happen. It happens not in just necessarily this story. It happens in some of the other ones we have as well. To me, it's just very strange.
That's so scary. I would hope that if anything happened to me and I disappeared, that people would not stop looking for me.
Yeah.
Until there was some sign that I was dead or whatever.
Yeah. So, like, even in America, when there's, like, cold cases or people missing persons cases, and say they've been gone for like 10-15 years, they will say, and it won't be a coroner, it will be the police that say it is suspected that she has died, but with no body, no evidence of anything, nothing, a coroner will not sign a death certificate.
Well, they can't, can they? That's the thing, they can't.
But I don't know if they have. I honestly didn't. I should probably have looked into that.
You probably should have, because that's going to bother me.
Yeah, but they have determined, in some of the cases, how the person died, when they died, and it's just like, you've never found them. How do you know? It's frustrating.
It's got to all just be assumption, hasn't it? Yes. There's no way.
I mean, yeah, can I Google
Unless
it? Sure.
there's, like, stuff around the scene.
But this is the thing. Since some of the scenes, there's nothing. So if you know, I could Google it, and perhaps I will, but I want to hear what you all think of this, because to me, this is so strange. Very strange.
He also stated that Trudy had died in or near Sydney's northern beaches or surrounding bushland, and that her death was the result of a criminal act or acts by person or persons unknown. So
How
it could have been anywhere in the northern beaches or surrounding bushland, so that's a very big area.
Huge.
It also could have been a specific criminal act or multiple acts. So completely just assuming.
It's just a huge...
And they don't know if it's one person or multiple persons.
Yeah, and it's just a huge, vague detail.
I would be so upset to think that someone I loved gone missing and they've just assumed that this is what's happened and that's how they're going to leave it.
Yeah.
I'd be so fuming that that's how they're going to just leave it.
Again, I don't know how things work in Australia, but that bothers me.
Yeah.
It really bothers me.
It bothers me. The coroner rejected the idea that Trudy had simply run away because evidence, or rather her character, indicated that she had strong links to her family and friends, was making future plans, and had given no clear indication that she intended to disappear. But people do that when they want to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they?
Yeah.
They might make plans and make a big fuss about it because they want to act like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Who are these people? The coroner therefore treated the case as a suspected homicide, while acknowledging that the exact circumstances and perpetrator remained unknown. Countless investigations have taken place over the years, to include an ABC network investigation, which is an investigative podcast and documentary series known as Unravel Barrenjoey Road. The series reported a possible new disposal site near Christmas Tree Hill at Cottage Point, in or near Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park. This information reportedly came through a former law enforcement source and was passed to NSW Police. The location has allegedly not been included in the original 1978 search in the same way as other areas, but there has been no publicly confirmed discoveries of Trudy's remains there. By all accounts, Trudy was a young woman with close family connections, friends, a lively personality, and ordinary ambitions. She was ready for the future and excited about where life was taking her. She was looking forward to so much, she had plans, and without any warning, her life seemingly stopped in its tracks. I hate cases like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think every time, like, how do the families cope with it?
So, just a forewarning for everyone who feels the same way you do, all the cases are like this. Because Australia is so huge, it's like almost impossible sometimes to find anyone.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like they stopped trying as well.
Yeah, I know. The coroner thing is really, it bugs the hell out of me.
It's so sad. She's a young girl with all these hopes and dreams of what she was going to do.
Yeah. And
it's just gone. And they're just going to put it down to, well, we don't really know what happened, but she's gone.
Yeah. But we know she's dead. Well, how? You don't. Again, somebody answer this for me. Make it make sense.
I don't know if anyone can. It doesn't make sense.
So, for our next case, 18-year-old Michelle Veronica Pope and her 21-year-old boyfriend, Stephen Victor Lapthorne, disappeared together from Sydney's North Shore on Friday, the 25th of August, 1978. On the evening of the 25th, Michelle and Stephen attended a dance together. Later, they went back to Stephen's home in West Pymble and had dinner with his parents. Their plans afterward were that Stephen was going to drive Michelle to her home in Barora. The following morning, Stephen was preparing to go on a skiing trip with some friends, but he never met up with them. And also, Michelle's parents were growing worried because she not only failed to return home, the family had noticed that the cat had not been let out, suggesting she had not made it home even before they woke. At approximately 10:30 p.m., the couple left Stephen's home together. They had left in Stephen's distinctive lime green Bedford van. The van also had a dark green horizontal band along each side, chrome-plated mag wheels, a long aerial mounted in the center of the roof, a clip-on aerial above the driver's window, high-back Ford Escort seats, and black curtains across the rear windows.
So pretty distinctive.
Very distinctive. Not sure how many vans like that are roaming the streets of NSW. There has been no confirmed sighting of Michelle or Stephen after they left West Pymble. Despite the vehicle's unusual appearance, it has also failed to turn up anywhere.
Oh, that's so weird.
Michelle was last described as wearing a bone-colored dress and red sandals. I don't really know what bone-colored is. Some sort of white.
Off-white, I guess.
Yeah, off-white. Police records identified her as approximately 5'8" to 5'9" with brown hair, blue eyes, and a medium build. Public information about her personal life is limited, but she had friends and school connections. And a tree was reportedly planted at Asquith Girls High School in 1979 by her Year 12 friends as a memorial. So, from that, it seems that she had a friend circle at least. Stephen was last described as wearing a yellow and white checkered shirt, cream trousers, and brown shoes. He was also approximately between 5'8" and 5'9", with light brown, shoulder-length hair, blue eyes, a mustache, and a medium build. Beyond these details, reliable public information about his work, personality, and private life is scarce. So we can't really speculate anything else besides the facts we have. Police investigated the case extensively. One major theory was that the couple had been murdered and their bodies concealed in bushland, particularly around Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park. Investigators also considered death by misadventure, including the possibility of a vehicle accident in a remote area, hence why the vehicle was never found.
So Australia is obviously huge, isn't it? Like America.
Yeah.
So these places probably were massive.
Yeah.
So there's a chance they could go into it and just never get found.
Yeah. I mean, New South Wales in itself is huge.
Is it?
Yeah, it's massive. But neither theory has ever produced any evidence. In August 2005, Deputy State Coroner Karl Milovanovic issued death certificates for both Michelle and Stephen. Again, how? And why?
Yeah.
This meant the evidence was sufficient enough to conclude that they had died, even though neither body had been recovered, nor the vehicle.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. It
must just be the way they do it there. They must have like a certain amount of time where they investigate. If they don't turn up, they're pronounced as dead.
Somebody please make it make sense. Please.
I'm going to Google it after this.
You're going to have to. The coroner made an open finding about the circumstances. However, the inquest could not determine the date, time, cause, locations, or determination of death. Then how do you fill out a death certificate? Regardless, the case was subsequently referred to the State Crime Command's Homicide Squad. And in January 2021, New South Wales Police conducted a formal review under its Unsolved Homicide Framework and commenced a renewed investigation with assistance from the Missing Persons Registry and Ku-ring-gai Police Area Command.
So, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
What it's saying?
Yeah.
So, in Australia, when police believe a missing person is dead but no body is found, the case is reported to the state or territory coroner. The coroner reviews the evidence and, if satisfied on the balance of probabilities that the person has died, issues a formal finding of death specifying the probable date, place and cause of death, even in the absence of remains.
Make it make sense.
It's crazy
even that doesn't make sense.
That, really, isn't it?
It doesn't make sense.
So it is what I just said. After a certain amount of time,
yeah,
and
they can just be like, "Oh,
they
dead."
say, right, so they must be dead. That's crazy.
Somebody from Australia, please, for the love of God.
So it's not even a matter of time. It's when the police have exhausted all clues and resources. So as soon as the police have decided there's nothing else, no more leads.
That's it.
That's when it gets done. So it's not even a matter of like, we've been searching for 5 years, we're going to stop.
They could have been searching for all of like 2 months and been like, oh, we can't go anywhere else with this. They're dead.
I mean, they could literally do it probably sooner than that.
Yeah, that's what it's.
The legal standard means the coroner must be convinced on the balance of probabilities that the individual is dead.
But how can one be so sure? Like, you can't.
You can't.
That's just absurd to me.
Yeah, I'm never going to Australia.
Yeah, again, I want somebody from Australia, so we obviously have the Googled answer.
Yeah, but if anybody actually knows or has like
it's more
heard of cases like it.
More of an understanding as to why. Why is a coroner allowed to do this?
Maybe it is the fact that it's such a huge place and so many people go missing that they can't have thousands of open cases.
America's bigger. And so if someone goes missing from Texas and they have every belief, or any belief at all, any suspicion whatsoever, that maybe they went to New York, they'll call NYCPD and have them look.
Yeah, but I think that's what they're saying, is that they do that in Australia too. But if they then have run out of they've exhausted all avenues, there's nothing else to investigate.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
But then I guess, if not, it is just a cold case anyway. They're not going to keep actively searching forever anywhere.
That's not right.
I know it's not right. It's bloody awful to think of, that they could all just give up on you. And you don't know how long they'll try looking.
Sometimes in America, police have, like, gone through cold cases for, like, 40 years. They do not stop. Oh, not all the time, obviously. But in a lot of cases, they don't stop until that fucking thing is solved. And they will not sign a death certificate. Period.
That's the thing that's getting me. I understand that there's a limit to how long they can search. But to then pronounce someone as dead without any evidence of it.
Yeah, it's just
that's
crazy.
Upsetting.
Yeah. A search was later carried out in Ku-ring-gai National Park after vehicle parts were found near McCarrs Creek. The parts were examined, but were not matched to Stephen's Bedford van. The New South Wales government eventually offered a reward of up to $1 million for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or people responsible for their deaths. Now, more than 4 decades later, Michelle, Stephen, and the van remain missing, and no one has been convicted in connection with the case, nor has any new information brought investigators closer to solving the case.
There's no way, if they've stumbled too far on an adventure, like one possibility was, there's no way that no one's come across them yet. They're not like some bionic man who's managed to walk millions of miles further than anyone else will ever go.
Yeah. Okay, so personally with this one...
Also, though, if they went into the bush, is it called the bush?
Yeah.
Could the jungle... Is it a jungle?
No.
What is it?
It's literally like desert land type stuff.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, could the jungle have, like, grown over it and absorbed it by now?
At least I think.
But I guess not if it's a, I just assumed bush, greenery, you know.
Yeah, it's like actual... It's not really a jungle. So it's kind of like
looks
flat,
like it varies a little bit.
Marshy land, kind of. But still, I don't think it's anything dense enough to completely...
cover a truck and everything.
Yeah. And so here's the other thing I was going to say. Potentially, I could look into the map of where they were, but even on looking at through all this, it's very dry. So, what are the odds that they accidentally drove into like a river?
Yeah.
Which it can happen, but I ain't really seeing that here.
No.
On to the next case. One of the most recent cases involves Tracy Leanne Vellicini, a 20-year-old mother who disappeared in January 1993 and has never been found.
When?
January 1993.
Do you know, a lot of these happen the year I was born. 1993 comes up quite a lot. Not these ones, but in nearly every video we do, something happens in 1993.
Yeah. It's a good year.
Not for them poor fuckers, it weren't.
Well, yeah. The Australian Missing Persons Register described her as approximately 5'5" with a thin build. She was a young mother with a daughter, Crystal, who was involved in family law proceedings. Tracy's final confirmed sighting by her family occurred during a January 8th custody hearing concerning Crystal in 1993. When she failed to turn up to the later hearing that same month, on the 21st, her mother became worried that something was wrong. When public information about Tracy's personality and private life is limited, as is with most cases of younger people, reports portray her as a young mother dealing with difficult family circumstances and living within a complicated social environment connected to motorcycle gang figures. One thing to bear in mind is that no matter her social circle and later allegations, this does not define Tracy, nor is it justification for her disappearance.
No.
Okay?
No, and actually, normally when you are... I'm just assuming, obviously. But normally when you're in with gangs, like motorcycle gangs, they're like family, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you would normally be more protected, if anything.
Yeah. Just depends. Police later established that Tracy had moved to a house in Wentworth Falls in the Blue Mountains with her boyfriend William Booby, along with his sister...
Sorry.
Deanne.
I was going to stop you in a sec because I need to sneeze, but also that made me laugh.
And Deanne's husband, Arthur Jock McKenzie. Reports state that Tracy and the other occupants lived at the property until around May 1993, although the exact chronology of the household and Tracy's movements remain disputed in public accounts. Tracy's boyfriend and her other housemates were treated as people of interest during the investigation, yet no one has been convicted of Tracy's disappearance or death. Police believe Tracy was murdered inside the Wentworth Falls home. A forensic examination found blood spatter, in the bathroom that investigators believed resulted from a high-velocity impact, possibly a shotgun. DNA testing of the blood was initially unsuccessful, although police later considered re-examining the sample using improved technology. One theory suggests that Tracy had threatened to report McKenzie to police over an alleged break-in or armed robbery. According to an informant's account cited in later reporting, McKenzie shot Tracy in the bathroom, and the others helped dispose of her body. Now, there is no public release that a DNA test has been redone or anything. So my guess is that nothing has happened yet for some reason.
So they've not redone the DNA test?
I don't know. Because there's no public information about it out there.
Why think about it and then not do it, though?
It could be in a queue. It could be, I don't know.
I guess, imagine all of the evidence from all the cases in all of the years that they must save. And then, like, a new technology's made. And they'll want to redo it all, probably.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know I would.
It could be in a queue. So we just don't know. There's just... they could have already done it. But there's just no public release of it.
Yeah.
Maybe the family didn't want that. I don't know. Also, to answer any questions as to why the boyfriend is not considered the prime suspect, the shorter answer is that he is actually considered as the main suspect, but with no evidence to say for sure he had actually done anything, then there is no way for police to actually convict him of any crime.
That's crazy. So they could strongly think that it's him, but there's no evidence. They can't do anything about it. It's the same
everywhere, though.
It's crap, isn't it?
It is, but...
But also, I wouldn't like it if they'd arrested him and he'd been in prison for years. We've had cases like that as well, and I've not liked it because the wrong people have been in prison for years.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't have enough evidence.
Yep.
And so, alright, I'll let it go.
I have not been able to find any public record of Mackenzie's whereabouts as well, so it's likely he's still roaming free.
Oh.
One of the troubling aspects of this case is that Tracy was not reported missing for approximately 4 years.
What? What?
Yep. Later reporting has raised questions about why her absence did not trigger an earlier missing person investigation.
How does it not get reported for 4 years?
Because I'm not really sure. This is just information I've gathered. So they could have actually reported it, maybe they were investigating everything. They didn't actually report her as a missing person until 4 years later. But when you report somebody as missing, a lot of things in the investigation shift, so I don't know.
So maybe they just thought at first that she wasn't missing, she decided to go?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
That delay complicated... Yeah.
This is all very confusing.
Yep. That delay complicated the case considerably, as it does with any case, because witness memories begin to deteriorate over time, potential forensic evidence gets lost, the locations, properties, and surrounding areas tend to change, and many other circumstances change over time. The exact reasons for the delay, and who knew what about Tracy's whereabouts during those years, remain important and unanswered questions. So, we don't know why they held off on reporting her missing. Something else strange is that approximately 1 year after Tracy disappeared, $500 was deposited into her bank account in Liverpool. 5 days later, $490 of that was withdrawn in the Blue Mountains.
What?
So somebody had access to her bank. Exactly. So someone had access to her accounts, but it has never been conclusively established who deposited or withdrew the money, or whether the transactions were connected with her death.
Can you not track things like that?
Probably not at this time, no.
The olden days suck.
Yeah. Now, again, it's strange for me to say, but here we go. A coronial inquest was held in February 2006, and the coroner found that Tracy had died between 1992 and December 1993.
Of course she had.
Of course she had. At Wentworth Falls from injuries inflicted by another person. How
the hell? How can they say that? There's not even any suspicion that someone else picked her up.
How that can be confirmed without human remains or any other sufficient evidence, and how someone can pronounce this and no suspect be arrested, to include the prime suspect, her boyfriend at the time, is absurd. How?
Very crazy.
How can you sit there and be like, she was killed by a person? Well, he's the prime suspect.
What if he
has a shotgun in his house?
Eaten by a wolf?
Yeah.
Or something, you know? There's other reasons that someone could die.
To me personally, for this one, I feel they had sufficient evidence. They had blood splatter in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then for the coroner to sit there and be like, well, she definitely got killed by somebody.
This is really bizarre. The way that it works.
Yeah,
or
really.
Did work. I don't know if it's still the same.
I assume it's still the same.
Really, really strange
Yeah.
way to work things, Australia.
The finding effectively treated Tracy's disappearance as a suspected homicide, but it did not resolve the circumstances or location of her death. In July 2017, the New South Wales government announced a $100,000 reward for information that could help identify those responsible for Tracy's suspected murder.
How come the rewards are so different? So hers was 100,000. The person before was $1 million. If anyone had any information.
Depending upon the time. And the other one, you got to think there was 2 people missing.
Yeah, but still, that's 10 times the amount, not twice the amount.
I don't know. This is...
Maybe it was a really different time. I don't know. I thought it was about the same sort of time.
No,
because the other one was in the 70s.
78.
And they offered $1 million.
$1 million. But now this happened in July 2017.
Why are we getting even shitter with our rewards?
Inflation.
That doesn't make sense. It should get better. Either which way.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And police appealed for anyone with knowledge of Tracy's movements, the Wentworth Falls house, the bathroom incident, the bank transactions, or the disposal of her body, to contact Crime Stoppers. Also, a more recent investigation report revisited the case, which is the 2026 series Left in the Cold, Finding Tracy Valesini. That work has examined police documents, informant evidence, Tracy's connections to motorcycle gang figures, and possible locations where her remains might have been concealed. The newer reporting has renewed focus on the theory that Tracy was killed inside the Wentworth Falls property, and that her body may have been buried or disposed of nearby. Now, those reports have not resulted in a publicly confirmed recovery of her remains or a criminal conviction. With all the speculation, the strongest official conclusion is that Tracy was killed at Wentworth Falls sometime between late 1992 and late 1993, and that the identity of her killer or killers, to include the location of her body, remains unresolved. But technically it is resolved because the coroner signed the death certificate saying that she was indeed killed by somebody else.
I mean, at least in this case, there's a strong suspect. There was a blood spatter in the house. There's some sort of evidence to say that it probably has happened.
Then why not move forward with a conviction? If anyone can sit there and definitively sign her death certificate and say this is how it happened, then the police should be able to look at the main suspect and be like, he's the one who did it. But
maybe they don't want to get it wrong.
But the coroner's well prepared to get it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It just is all a bit backwards.
Australians, mates, listen.
Is it because they're down under?
Potentially.
So they do it all upside down.
Leave a comment, send us an email at vividlydarkpod@gmail.com. Make it make sense. Please. I beg you. And lastly, for today, between late 1978 and 1979, 3 young women, Leanne Goodall, Robin Hickey, and Amanda Robinson, all from the Newcastle and Lake Macquarie orbit, vanished in circumstances that looked ordinary until they weren't. Their disappearances are often discussed together because they occurred within a tight geographic corridor and a short span of time, and because later official findings treated at least Robin Hickey and Amanda Robinson as homicide victims killed by an unknown person or persons. Well, what has endured just as powerfully as the mystery is the picture left by family and friends. None of the 3 are remembered as someone drifting away from normal life, but rather each was seen as a young woman with plans, routines, relationships, and a recognizable place in the world around her. Leanne Goodall. Leanne Beth Goodall was 20 and from Muswellbrook. Friends have described her as an art student who also worked part-time as a waitress at Newcastle's Ambassador nightclub, placing her in a phase of life that was still taking shape, with work, study, and a social world all running at once. But family recollections give the clearest sense of who she was. Her mother later said Leanne was the first daughter after 4 boys, and described her as someone who came and went like a bird, a phrase that suggests independence, not detachment. In the same recollections, Leanne was portrayed as friendly and, importantly, as someone who still kept in touch, which is one reason her disappearance never sat comfortably with the idea that she had chosen to leave voluntarily. That is one thing. If you are big on contacting your family and you go missing, something's wrong.
Yeah.
She had intended to spend New Year with her friends and was due to begin a course at Newcastle Technical College in February 1979, which would describe someone planning their future rather than someone who would simply disappear. Which, I know sometimes you can plan things in the future, but if it's something like that, that means you're looking forward to it. Like, it's college, it's not like you bought tickets to a concert. So
yeah, it's more long-term plans, isn't it?
Yeah. Leanne vanished on December 30th, 1978, after her brother dropped her at Muswell Brook railway station. She was later reportedly seen outside the Star Hotel in Newcastle, and then the trail goes cold. Robin Hickey. Robin Elizabeth Hickey was 18 and worked as a dental nurse. According to those who knew her, she was one of those local young women whose life was built around friends, routines, work, and everyday travel across the Newcastle and Lake Macquarie area. Her family portrayed the same view of Robin as well because she was popular and socially active. On the night she disappeared, Robin was going out to meet people, nothing out of the ordinary for her to do. Some reports note that Robin was known to hitchhike, which again is a detail that reflects the norms of the time rather than recklessness. Robin disappeared on April 7th, 1979, and after leaving home in Belmont's North at about 7:15 p.m. to catch a bus and meet friends. She was last seen near a bus stop on the Pacific Highway and never reached her destination. Amanda Robinson. Amanda Therese Robinson was the youngest of the three. She was 14 when she vanished, and nearly every family description of her is shaped by that fact because she was remembered not as a worldly adolescent on the edge of adulthood, but as a schoolgirl still closely held within family routines. The strongest remembered words came from her mother, Anne Robinson, who said Amanda was only a little girl and not a worldly little girl either, which described Amanda as still sheltered, still expected home, and still moving within a circle of care rather than independence.
How old was she?
14. Very young. Amanda had been allowed to attend a school dance because a lift home had been arranged with her friend's father. When the plan fell through, she caught a bus instead, got off only a short distance from her home, waved to her friends, and disappeared. Later reporting also suggests she was deeply embedded in her school community. Friends and classmates gave emotional evidence at the inquest, which points to a girl who was known, liked, and vividly remembered by those around her. Amanda disappeared on April 21st, 1979. She was last seen walking along Lake Road near Swansea, close to home, and never arrived back. Seen together, the three cases form a pattern that is disturbing precisely because each evening began so normally. Leanne was traveling between family and friends and Newcastle. Robin was out to meet friends, and Amanda was returning home from a school dance. None of these movements would have seemed exceptional at the time. Although not officially.
That's the worst part, though, isn't it? Because every day you let the kids pop up a shop or something. That's all they were doing. They were just doing normal everyday things for them.
Yeah.
And then they just never came home.
Yep. And it's very much out of the norm for them to not go home at some point.
I never want to let the kids out of the house again.
It's fine.
I don't think they'd be fine with it.
No, they wouldn't.
That's how it makes you feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want to let them out your sight.
No. And although not officially tied together, because there is no way of knowing, the three cases are often grouped together in public discussion about missing young women in the Newcastle and Lake Macquarie region. A coronial inquest later found that Robin Hickey and Amanda Robinson died as a result of homicide by unknown person or persons, while Leanne Goodall's disappearance has long been discussed in the same broader cluster of unresolved cases from the region. Even so, the official record still leaves major uncertainty. No one has been convicted over the disappearances of Leanne, Robin, or Amanda, and no single offender has been publicly proven to connect them all. But with this all said, there is one name that the police had some interest in. And historically, the one name that comes up most consistently across all three cases is a man by the name of Ivan Milat, who was identified as a major person of interest in the 2001 inquest and later reporting. A coroner, it bothers me to say that, a coroner said he was a major person of interest in the missing girls' cases, and multiple sources say he remained the best-known suspect figure attached to the three young women. More so, in particular, Leanne Goodall, rather than Amanda Robinson and Robin Hickey. But how a coroner knows that?
Yeah. How was he attached to them?
Yeah. And how is he not convicted if the coroner can say it?
Really bizarre.
Very. However, he is not the only person theorized to have any one particular part in either disappearance. Same inquest also listed other persons of interest, including Paul James Podmore, Robert Sidney Kittle, Kelvin John Macy, Jeffrey Francis Armstrong.
Are these just random people's names from the area that they've picked out, or is there any actual reason why
and
they think this?
Peter Julian Drinkwater. Weird name. I imagine they have some sort of record.
But again, though, it probably is just that they've got a record.
Yeah.
So they've randomly picked these names and said it could have probably been any of these people.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
It's very. The coroner reportedly said Drinkwater, weird name, in particular, had credibility problems and a possible opportunity in Amanda Robinson's disappearance. More recent reporting suggests that Warren McCorriston may now be the strongest current person of interest in at least some of the Newcastle area disappearances, especially Robin Hickey and Amanda Robinson. Those reports say he has a separate history of serious sexual and violent offenses and had possible connections to Robin. I imagine they tied them together because they're from the same area. Regardless of the maybes and what-ifs, these cases are still open and looking for any new information that could tie either of the suspects listed or new potential leads. Whether it be the potentially linked cases of Robin Hickey, Amanda Robinson, or Leanne Goodall, or the other unsolved disappearances of Tracy Vellicini, Michelle Pope, and Stephen Lapthorne, or Trudy Adams, you are urged to call or reach out to Crime Stoppers New South Wales. The number will be in the description below. Alright, so with all of this, my only thing is, what the fuck is with the coroner thing?
It's obviously just the way they do it there.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense to us, but there must be more to it, and that's why they do it. There must be
if this guy
some sort of process that didn't come up on Google.
But if they can sign an official government certificate of death, and then the same person say, he could have done it, why isn't that person in fucking jail?
Because they can't prove that they've done it.
They also can't prove that they're fucking dead.
Yeah. I know, it's really weird. But it's the way they do it.
Again,
yeah, apparently.
Somebody make it make sense. Please. I want to believe that the justice system in Australia is not all fucked up and weird. It's astonishing that none of the victims we talked about today have ever been found. But being that it's Australia, I'm really also not surprised because it is such a massive area, and with all the desert and predatory animals, disposal is easy. Drop a body off out in the bush, in the desert, it'll be gone soon.
It's just so sad. I hate these for the fact that people just never find out what happened. Their poor parents.
Yeah. That is the worst part, is that the parents, the only thing they have now is this death certificate, and they don't even know.
Yeah, I wonder how they feel, because I think I'd be so angry about it.
I'd be
that's basically a certificate to say that they've given up looking for your child.
And they're essentially saying, look, this is as far as we go.
I understand that maybe they need to draw that line at some point, but how the hell do you decide when?
That's the thing, you can't. You shouldn't. No matter your country's laws, rules, whatever, you should not just stop. You should keep going.
Maybe it's a good way for families to sort of get closure, though, because they think, right, this is it now, they're not coming back. maybe that's why they do it. There must be a reason why they do it. I don't think that they're just mean and think, oh, no, I'm just done with this.
I'm not suggesting at all that they're being malevolent in any sort of way. I don't get it. That's it on my end with that. But yeah, you're right. It could be a way of just saying, look, there's nothing else we can do, that we cannot.
And because it is such a huge place.
Yeah.
If they haven't found them in the way that they've been able to look.
Yeah.
There is no other way possible that they can. I don't know.
No, they would have to.
It's all just incredibly sad, and I'm really sorry to the families that don't ever get the answers.
Yeah, it's the worst to know, because if anything happened to my children, God forbid, I would want answers, and I would stop at no end to get those answers.
Yeah, even with the answers, it's something you never get over.
No, it's never enough. You don't. No parent should ever have to go through that. Mm-mm. But, yeah. So if you want to let us know what you thought about today's episode, or if you know of something you would like us to talk about on the show, then write that up and send it to us at vividlydarkpod@gmail.com. Again, that's vividlydarkpod@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a comment down below. Tell us your thoughts if you want, and while you're here already, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, and give this video a share, if you're on YouTube, that is. And while you're at it, you can also follow us on our socials at vividlydarkpod on Instagram and TikTok. And lastly, if somehow you know something, any tiny detail of a missing person case, whether these ones or any other ones that we ever talk about or have talked about, please just do the right thing and allow these grieving families to finally get the peace they deserve. Thank you all for listening. And we look forward to giving you some more tales of the creepy, the geeky, and or something in between next week. Bye.
Bye.